Good morning to the honorable judges, respected lecturers and the fellow presenters. How many of you have ever faced problem with your friends or colleagues which turned out only due to miscommunications or lacking of informations? These questions bring forward another slew of questions. How this occur? What caused these issues in the first place? Is there a way to prevent this from happening in the future? All of these are good questions that will pave the way towards better communication strategy involving members of a workplace, especially in the period where communications has become so efficient and crucial for workplace progressions that any minor mistake may lead to this disastrous result. Today, I will be elaborating on the importance of effective communications in the workplace and what can be done to achieve harmony in workplace communications. Communication has evolved remarkably from the old age of the pigeon messengers to the small device we keep in our back pocket at all the time. Whenever and wherever we can always be connected in regards to communications in the workplace. It is pertinent that communication is done efficiently in order for work to progress smoothly and everyone is kept on the same page. The most form of communication within the workplace are through emails, phone calls, memos, and company's group chat. To put it simply, communication has never been so easy. And yet, despite the modernity of communication, what are still held back from using it effectively by our own social expectations. Differing personalities and communication skill levels, not everyone is equipped with the skill or experience in handling the new method of communications, especially in place where companies' apps are a new additions to the company system. This is where we can begin to see the crack forming. With the increasing usage of communication tools, there is always a growing awareness on how effective communications affect daily productivity. Clear and authentic communications become the secret ingredient that fuels innovation, builds trust, and lift team spirit. On that note, it is common for companies to require their employees to attend programs to strengthen their communication skills and create a stronger bond between their fellow colleagues. Communication skills are no longer just a soft skill. It has become the major driving force of any operations, and it is well within our responsibility that we are aware of our own ability to do so as well. Firstly, let's identify the glaring issues communications in the workplace face. Most communication that happens in an organization is in a top-down model. Employee receive order from the boss to execute and the result follow. While there is still communications that happens between regular employees, this is kind of communications model leave much to be desired, resulting in employee feelings disconnected with the organizations as a whole and further demotivating them to their work perfectly. Why should they do their best when they receive the bare minimum in return? If it all, there's discordant communication methods may have worked before due to years of regulations, but in the time where human relations is entangling in every aspect of life, interpersonalships is important in maintaining that harmony when any company is one social media post away from falling into runs. When an employee does not feel heard or appreciated, it is easy for it to go around from eyes rolling, growing into tiny whispers, and before you know it, the workplace has become a landmine of repressed emotions, just waiting to boil over and explode in your face. So, what can be done to prevent such situations? Recognizing the types of communications that happen on a daily basis in a workplace is the first step to fixing the issues. The fundamental type of communications are verbal, non-verbal, and written. All these can be observed in the workplace settings, and each plays significant roles toward a successful operations. Let's start with the easiest verbal communication. Misunderstandings happen when things are not discussed clearly and directly, leaving room for a doubt and worries that they are missing a crucial detail. Verbal communication should be done openly, precious, and with space for questions. Whether this would be in a work meeting or office, it is important that conversations spark respond creativity, boost morale, and keep your colleagues focused. There are many aspects to verbal communications that many people are unaware of but have picked up subconsciously in their speaking. It also involves pitch, tone, pause, speed, structure, flow, logic, and word choice. It takes a lot for someone for verbally communicate effectively. The lilt of your voice have some words have to be pressed to highlight its importance. The speed in which you talk, so no one is left behind the logic of what are you saying, and the usage of tones that attracts people's attentions. If you practice even half of this, you are already a step further to communicating effectively. What do we think of when written communication is mentioned? Is it company's memos, text message that you send to your co-workers at lunchtime, the email that you neglected to reply 3 days ago? In the age where everyone is reachable at any time and anywhere, it can be easy to forget that written communications is not the same as verbal communications. It is easy to misinterpret message, so it is important that message should be lead with the most important point and structured properly. While there are no tone indicator in written text, choice of words, use and intonation style much more than you imagine. Try to keep it short and simple. Provide additional information such as link or attachment, and always reread before hitting send. However, written communication is not advisable to use in matters of urgency and further resolve to phone calls instead. One could argue that non-verbal communication is the most important communication method. To master it more often than not displays a bigger pictures of someone feels in a moment. Not only does it include tone and pitch, it also involves posture and body language, eye contact, facial expressions, hand gesture, and even physical distance. There are studies that suggest 70 to 80% of communication is nonverbal. This method also helps you to read someone before they even say a word, all displayed by how they carry themselves. In workplace, communication display range from how one listens and to others, their expressions, response, and follow-up actions. It is easy to pick up how someone is feeling once you see their first and second reactions in a situation. The first reaction is their real feelings, and the next is their adjustment or their response to the situations. Depending on that, it is easy for you to adjust your own behavior to accommodate the situations. Ultimately, workplace communication is not as easy feat, but it is not impossible. There are many approaches to mastering effective communications, and understanding the many types of communication and how to use it is the best way to start. It is a balancing act of understanding what is needed and what can be done, but it is never too late to improve your communication skills, especially when it involves a collective of people in an environment. To conclude, communication has become a long way, and yet it is still up to us to bridge those social barriers that prevent us from becoming the best of the best. In the many years forward, even with technological advancement that brings communications into a new light, it is useless if we don't learn how to connect and communicate with our own people efficiently. So, as technology evolves, we too have to evolve and become better, stronger together. Moving forward, let us strive towards more connections with our peers, easy smiles and our face and crossed feet beneath our eyes, as without the harmony of open communications, all we may gain from it is only harm. So, thank you. That's all from me.